Hello everyone, my name is Zhu Liang and I'm pleased to be here today to present my research. This study was conducted under the supervision of Prof. Dr. Anis Janis Ali. Thank you for being here and welcome to my presentation.
Before diving into the main content, let me briefly walk you through the structure of this presentation. This report is organized into six parts. Part 1 is the abstract, providing an overview of the research background and key findings. Part 2 is a problem statement, identifying the main research questions. Part 3 outlines the research objectives, both overall and the specific goals. Part 4 covers the methodology, explaining how the data was collected and analyzed. Part 5 is a discussion where we interpret the results. And finally, Part 6 presents the conclusion and the recommendations based on my findings. The first one is abstract. Let me begin by introducing the background and the purpose of this study. As China's online entertainment industry grows rapidly, video sharing platforms are facing fierce competition. Among them, Bilibili stands out with its unique community and interactive culture. This research aims to identify the key factors that affect user satisfaction and loyalty. A mixed method approach was used, including SPSS survey analysis, Python-based sentiment analysis, and Power BI dashboards. The key findings indicate that community atmosphere, interactive features, privacy protection, content diversity, system stability, and advertising all strongly impact user loyalty. These contributions provide both practical suggestions to improve user experience and valuable insights for platform management. Now, let me explain the main problem statements of this research. First, what are the key factors that influence user satisfaction with the Bilibili platform? Second, how does user satisfaction further affect user loyalty? Third, do user experience factors indirectly influence loyalty through satisfaction? Lastly, are there significant differences in satisfaction and loyalty among users of different demographic groups, such as gender, age, or education level? Well, the third part is research objectives. The overall objective of this research is to identify key factors that influence user satisfaction and loyalty on Bilibili. Specifically, this study explores how user experience affects satisfaction and how satisfaction directly predicts loyalty. It also examines whether satisfaction mediates the relationship between experience and loyalty. In addition, this study analyzes demographic differences and uses sentiment analysis to identify key factors. Based on these insights, this study proposes practical strategies to improve user satisfaction and loyalty. Now, let's look at the methodology. This study collected data from two sources. First, a questionnaire survey with 300 valid responses distributed through platforms like Weibo, Xiaohongshu, and Bilibili. Second, it gathered 1,000 user comments from the Google Play Store, representing real-time feedback from international users. For data processing, SPSS was used for coding and running reliability and validity tests. Python was used to pre-process the comments, classify sentiment, and build a logistic regression model. This study conducted regression analysis to understand the relationships among experience, satisfaction, and loyalty, including mediation effects. It also used sentiment analysis tools like Vader and TestFlow, and visualized our findings using a Power BI dashboard, which provided interactive insights through KPIs and charts. In the discussion section, let's start with the survey findings. User experience has a significant impact on loyalty, especially community atmosphere and interactive features. Satisfaction shows strong predictive power for loyalty and plays a clear mediating role between experience and loyalty. In terms of sentiment analysis, positive feedback often mentioned the rich anime content, friendly design, and smooth experience. Negative feedback focused on frequent ads, slow loading, and update issues. Demographic analysis showed that satisfaction and loyalty varied across different age groups, genders, and usage durations. In conclusion, this study found that community atmosphere, interactive features, privacy protection, content quality, and system stability all have a strong influence on user satisfaction and loyalty. Satisfaction acts both as a key predictor and a mediator. Based on these insights, it recommends enhancing content diversity, improving recommendation accuracy, optimizing community management, reducing advertising interruptions, upgrading technique performance, and develop strategies for different user groups. It also suggests continuously monitoring user feedback through sentiment analysis to make timely improvements. Of course, this study has some limitations. First, there is a limitation in the sample. Although 300 valid responses were collected through online surveys, the respondents mainly came from active users on social media platforms. As a result, the findings may not fully represent the entire Bilibili user base, especially older users or those less active online. Second, there are limitations associated with the sentiment analysis tools used. Where Vader and Tableau are useful for classifying emotional tone, they often struggle with detecting sarcasm and context-dependent phrases. As a result, some misclassifications may have occurred, potentially affecting the accuracy of the analysis. Finally, among the three linear regression models, there is a relatively high multicollinearity in the selection of independent variables, which may lead to inflected indicators such as the determination coefficient and weakening the explanatory power of the models to a certain extent. That's all for my presentation. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Prof. Anis Janin Ali for his guidance throughout this research. Thank you all for your attention.